Spencer Triplett on the side. I think it's a good thing that we just heard your name for the first time. Just how much pride you take in the lawn snapping, and then also just kind of like what's it been like to be under Coach Belichick and Coach Triplett?
Yeah, with long snapping, I take a huge pride in it because it's a really an unseen part of the game. Usually when punt comes on, and Tom can attest, everybody is usually going to get the concessions. They're on their phone. No one's paying attention to it, but for us, it's a huge part of our game because that's all we do. And so I put a lot of passion into what I do in perfecting what my craft is, whether it's snapping, blocking, and having Tom as the punter, it's been great because we work with each other to figure out what's good for each other, where he wants the ball, where he's standing, where I need to snap it for him. So I take a lot of pride in long snapping as a whole.
Let's go to Jeremiah.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you, when did long snapping from your vantage point become your thing, so to speak? I know you long snapped in high school, things like that. When did it become, this is going to be my craft, this is what's going to have me on the field?
So I originally picked it up in 6th grade. My brother was a kicker, and whenever him and my dad went out to the field to work on it, being the little brother, I'm like, I'm going too. Originally tried kicking, figured out I'm not good at that. So I learned how to snap, and I really started taking it seriously about sophomore year, junior year of high school. When going to camps, I figured out I'm really good and can compete with other guys across the country. And as I got into college and worked on my own craft, I started to get better and better and really took pride in what I do.
Yeah. Real quick follow-up to that, you said initially you wanted to kick. What made you want to get into the kicking part?
Just that thing of being the little brother. You always want to do what your older brother does. And I always looked up to my older brother growing up. He was the smart one in the family. The athlete. He ran cross country and did soccer, so I was like, you know what, I'm gonna give it a try, and shortly figured out it was not for me.
Let's go to Brian.
Two quick. Are you on scholarship? I know it's tough sometimes for the specialists to get on scholarship. And then secondly, Coach Belichick talked about changing some of the ways that you're blocking. I wondered if you could go into detail about what you worked on with you on that.
Yeah, so the first one I am on scholarship. I got put on at the beginning of the year, and with changing things up, I was originally supposed to be a free release guy, snap it and run, but then they realized I could be a very lethal weapon in the protection game, and I take a lot of pride in that because they see I can be of use in protection, and so I put a chip on my shoulder and trying to learn and be as good as possible with that. And I think through spring, summer into the preseason training, I've gotten really good at it. And they challenge me a lot in practice to give me some tough looks to make sure I'm prepared on Saturdays. And I think it's kind of an attest to how good I am. They're trying to challenge me more and more. And so it's only going to make me better for Saturdays and make Saturdays easy. So I love blocking, honestly.
Tougher to block or go down there and try to make a tackle?
Tougher to block in terms of giving me stuff that maybe other teams might not give, or putting like a very quick guy in there to try and get past me. Just making it harder on me in practice so that when games come, it's a lot easier to do.
Let's go to Adam.
Adam Smith, Inside Carolina. Spencer, you've been around here a while. I think this is your 6th year.
Yeah.
This is kind of a multi-layered question, if you can bear with me. What made you want to keep coming back? Because you could go on and do something else, I'm sure. You were in early on MAC 2.0. I mean, it was 2020 when you got here. How have you seen maybe this program change over the years, especially with the switch from Mac to Belichick, not trying to throw anybody under the bus? And maybe have you seen the perception of football change around here, just through your eyes on sort of the ground level?
So in that first part, what kept me coming back is really more so the academic side of the school. As everyone knows, it's a very prestigious university, and sometimes that title on the degree is very enticing to employers. And everyone knows football isn't for long. Even in the NFL, it stands for not for long. So whenever my football career comes to an end, which who knows, hopefully it's far from now, I want to put myself in the best position possible to be successful after football in whatever career I choose. And going back from one staff to another, this staff definitely puts a lot more responsibilities on us. They're treating us like pros, and they're expecting us to handle ourselves like pros. So they're encouraging us to always do, scouting reports on our own, figure out what our potential matchups are going to be for the week, kind of get an idea of what we're going to see, and move into practice kind of with that information and trying to prepare the best way. And it's honestly been a lot more beneficial because in the past it really wasn't encouraged as much. And now it's kind of like, this is what pros are going to do. So if you want to get to that level, you got to get used to it now. And that's what I really like about having Coach Belichick and the new staff in, especially with Coach Prefer. He's the same way. he wants us to know who we're going up against, what their tendencies might be, and try and figure out what we can do in practice to best prepare for it.
So maybe more, just follow up, sorry, maybe more homework from the end of the game to the start of practice next week, that type of thing, like you need to come be prepared, whereas they're not spoon feeding it to you, that type of thing?
Yeah, exactly. And I think for me personally, I always like to, the coaches always break down games and like tell you what they think you did good or what you didn't. But I like to take it personally to do it on my own, self-critique myself, and I'm very hard on myself. I think my room for error personally is very small, whereas someone else could see a snap and like, oh, that was good, but me, I'm like, it wasn't good. It definitely could have been better. So that's something me personally I like to do to make sure I'm the best on the field, so I can give my teammates the best, give the coaches the best, and hopefully give the team a good opportunity to win the game.
No Westcott, Tar Heel 24/7. I'm curious, what's the story behind you getting on scholarship? Was it like the fun? Like, how did you find out? I guess is what I'm asking.
I mean, it was one of those things. They kind of just told me. I was like, cool. Like it's one of those things. Like it's great, but it was never really that for me. I've always just wanted the opportunity to play, and both coaching staffs with Mac Brown and Bill Belichick, they've given me that opportunity. So I'm forever grateful for that, and the scholarship's just an added bonus to it.
Was it Coach Belichick that told you, or was it?
It was before the transition.
Okay.
But once they got back in, they're like, yeah, you're still gonna keep that. So I was like, great.
Tommy?
As a long snapper, I mean, who do you look up to? Greg Warren played here, he's played in the league forever. I mean, I would think that's the guy that will follow his footsteps.
Oh, definitely. Especially recently, looking at like all the guys across the leagues, you hear a lot of names like Luke Rhodes, J.J. Jansen, local guy. He's been in the league, forever. John Weeks, a lot of these veteran guys around the league. But I like to look at some guys that are maybe in similar positions or similar body sizes, just to kind of compare games to see like where I think I could stand compared to them. But yeah, definitely Jansen being the local guy. Manley, obviously, he's considered widely as the greatest to ever do it. Jansen's also in that conversation. Weeks as well. Looking up to those guys, it's like quarterbacks looking up to Brady, receivers looking up to Moss. That's what all the guys want to do, is trying to have that longevity that those guys had.
Let's go to Shelby.
Shelby, the News Observer. I'm curious if, and I was just talking to your teammates about it, but if you have seen the Bill Belichick give like a 10-minute long answer about the history of long snappers, and if so, just what were your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think every long snapper in the country has seen that video, because when the greatest coach of all time goes that long about talking about long snappers, they're pretty tuned to listening to it. But yeah, it's really cool how much he cares about it and how much he actually knows about it. We had a conversation before one practice that felt like 10 minutes, just talking about stuff I could do, stuff I could add to my game, stuff that could help the whole scheme out. And it's really cool when you have a coach who knows that much, because you'll talk to like other head coaches and they're like, oh yep, good snap, we'll move on. Bill will be like, yeah, that was a good snap, blocking was good, did you see this, what else did you see, if you see this, talk to your teammates, help them figure it out, and it's just awesome, because having a coach like him, and especially like Coach Prefer, guys that have so much experience working with the best to ever do it in the NFL, it kind of encourages you to like work harder and try and be the best and perfect your craft. So it's been really awesome.
A quick follow-up on that. I mean, I'm assuming that you and a lot of your teammates, when the news came that Bill Belichick was being hired, excited about this is one of, if not the greatest coach alive. I mean, but was it a different maybe feeling for you as, oh, I know this guy really cares about special teams and long snapping?
Yeah, much like everyone else, it was definitely a big shock when it happened. But as I let it grow on me, I was like, you know what? Having someone who cares about special teams is going to be awesome, because when you have coaches that care so much about special teams, it's fun to play for. You have guys coming up to them all the time being like, I want to play. I've had some teammates come up to me like, hey, can you talk to the coach about putting me on one of these teams or one of the scout teams, because I just want to play special teams. I'm like, yeah, of course, like that's what you want in any program, guys who are so eager and just want to play that they're going to go to special teams, because you have one of the best coaches who knows special teams, values it, and he's even shown so many clips of guys who have been in the league solely on special teams and made double-digit year careers out of it. So it's been really awesome for team morale, just bringing everyone together and wanting to like be on special teams.
Anything else for Spencer?
I guess like, again, like more guys coming up to you, I want to be on special teams, would you say that's different, like from years past, the number of folks?
Oh, definitely. I mean, from years past, you'd have some guys who just like most people, they were like, I don't really care. I want to play my position. I came here to play my position. I don't want to be right guard on the punt team or the L1 on kickoff. You know, guys just want to play their position. But now guys are like, oh, playing for this guy, like that's a plus in my book.
That was McGinnis's fault on the drop punt against TCU, not yours.
No comment.
Okay.
Good stuff, Spencer. Appreciate it.
Thank y'all.
We'll